You may have heard about the accidental tourist. This week's parasha, though, could be called either the accidental tourists or the destructive tourists. I'm referring, of course, to the 12 spies, and specifically to 10 of them who were destructive, in this week's parasha, in Parashat Shelach. Shelach is all about the sending of the 12 spies, the Meraglim as they are called, by Moshe into the land of Israel, the land of Canaan as it was called then, or Canaan, to spy out the land. The word that is used is latur et haaretz, to tour the land in a sense. We can see the very word tour there. This was the most fateful moment in Jewish history. It was a moment that changed the generation of the desert. For now, instead of going directly into the land of Israel, 40 years of wandering, for the 40 days that these spies spent in the land of Israel, coming back with so destructive, so evil a report, dibara'ah, about this fabulous land that they had been promised by God. For each of the days that they spent there, there would be a year of wandering, and hence the 40 years of wandering in the desert of Sinai, in the wilderness of Sinai. We know of the report of the 10 spies, and the counter report, or the alternative report, was that of Yehoshua ben Nun, Moshe's right-hand man, Joshua, and Caleb ben Yefuneh, Caleb. When you read the story carefully, you see that Caleb is one who emerges as the hero of the piece, as the charismatic man who tries to take the people with him, who tries to counter the evil minyan, those 10 men. He tries to encounter those 10 dangerous men and their report and their terrible, demoralizing report that affects and spreads and infects, in fact, the whole of the people of Israel, that they are all so demoralized, and they all say, back to the land of Israel, rather back to the land of Egypt we want to go. What did Caleb possess? Where did he find his strength? Where did he find his energy? Where did he find his spirit from, that he was able to oppose these 10 and to try, almost single-handedly, yes, admittedly Joshua does join him, but how to lead this counter approach, this counter attack, if you like, in favor of Eretz Israel and the land of Israel. Perhaps a suggestion for it can be found earlier on, at the beginning when they begin their mission. I refer you now to a pasuk, to one of the earlier verses that are here in the Torah, which says to us about the spies when they were setting off on their mission. Vaya'alu vayaturu, there's that word to tour again. Vayaturu et haaretz, they went up to go through the land from Mibad Sin ad Rehov Lavo, and they went from this place to that place. Vaya'alu vanegev, and they ascended, or they arrived in the Negev. Vayavo ad Chevron, and came to Chevron. Now, if you are listening very carefully in the Hebrew, you would have noticed a subtle shift here. As we would expect, it describes them going as a group from place to place. However, when it speaks about the arrival in Chevron, the Hebrew is very specific. It says, Vayavo ad Chevron, not they came to Chevron, but Vayavo ad Chevron, he came to Chevron. One of them came to Chevron. And Rashi immediately points out, Caleb levado halach sham. Caleb went alone to Chevron. And what was so important about Chevron? He went there, al kivrei avot, shelo yeheh nisa, etc. He says he went there so that he could go to the kever, to the grave sites of the forefathers who were buried over there in Chevron, in Kiryat Arba, the burial place there, which Abraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov were all buried there. Most of them were together with their spouses, and Adam and Eve as well. Why did he go to Chevron? And I suggest to you that Caleb went to Chevron because he went there to strengthen himself. He went there to connect himself to his past. For he knew that in the mission ahead he was going to need all the help and support he could get. And he knew that as a Jew, if he went back to the purpose of going to Israel, back to the promise of going to Israel, which was promised to Abraham there, he would go back, and he wanted to reconnect to the energy of the Avot and the Imaot. He wanted to reconnect to his past. For he knew that you are as strong as your past is. Kierkegaard has said life must be lived forward, but it is only understood backwards. Kalev grasped that immediately. He knew that in order to go forward into the land, they had to know where they were coming from. To know where you're going to, you need to know where you're coming from. Kalev intuitively grasped that, and he therefore went to the kever, he went to the grave places of his ancestors. Often, and particularly in our generation, we are all about tomorrow and tomorrow, about looking forward. Nobody wants to look backwards. We all want to be forward-looking people. That is fine. However, the best way to look forward is to have a capacity also to learn from the past. For if you have learned from the past and you have learned from that which is behind you, then you can truly move forward with courage, with vision, with vitality. That's what Kalev did. That's why he succeeded in what he did. And that is why we will always remember his contribution. Shabbat Shalom.